I'm AJ Green. You're watching NFL in London.
The podcast is about to begin, everyone. You in the video. Oh no, it's recording anyway. Hey everybody.
Yes.
Hey.
There we go.
NFL in London. Wade and Ryan here. We are NFL in London. Week 1 done and dusted, and we were done and dusted in our picks too.
Yes, it was a rough day. I'd like to first of all start the podcast by officially changing my Super Bowl pick from the Pittsburgh Steelers
What? No,
to literally any other team in the
Anyone
NFL.
else, yeah.
And I will literally take the field. Because if that is the Pittsburgh, we're going to see out
That's
there.
not my Pittsburgh. Yeah, exactly.
Hashtag not my Pittsburgh. But
Yeah.
come on. I'm embarrassed by my Super Bowl pick.
They were embarrassed. That was a horrible game. Like,
even my NFC one, I'm not that crazy about. Like, I literally
the Eagles
feel like I want to do that other podcast
Washington
over.
really came out on those guys. We're going to go through every game in this episode. We're going to talk about all the scores, go through all our pundit
knowledge,
all the crap we learned, all the stuff we learned. Although it's remiss to say again, we have to bring up Antonio Brown again. This guy, hey, turns out he jizzes on backs. Look,
it's so upsetting. You know what?
Look, sexual assault. These kind of things are. This is to me. This is done.
No,
this
the
is
thing
done.
is, somebody said the best. Somebody said this the best on Twitter was it's like Antonio Brown is ruining the NFL's 100th season by himself.
He's like hitting every.
He is. This was supposed to be a celebration of all things great about football, and he is literally playing like asshole bingo and hitting everything.
He's hitting all the 7 sins. He's basically everything. Gluttony, greed, wrath.
This dude needs to be. Again, with all stuff like this, you're always innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah.
But as a commissioner who needs to focus on the integrity of the league and as all people are talking about the NFL right now is Antonio Brown.
Sure.
You got to put him on the commissioner's exempt list. You got to sit him because
of course.
He is, as people would say, he is killing your brand.
Yeah,
right now.
Well, so anytime when you have a sexual assault accusation, and there was someone like Neymar was accused of it, and it turns out now he's suing her for it because it turns out it wasn't potentially true. But this one rings of so much. This girl is his personal trainer. There's all these things that go on, and you know what? You've got to believe the victim first, and you have to address that first, and you cannot let him play.
No,
If
it goes like if the case goes forward and it becomes an actual legal thing.
Yeah,
you can't have him playing.
It's looking for.
And then for a team that prides itself, the New England Patriots, who are so holier than thou when it comes to no distractions, do your job, the hypocrisy of letting them practice, I find just very enjoyable because when the Patriots are like, when it happens to us, that doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, I think it's also when you look at
a team that just talks about everyone being there for the team and then not having any of this to deal with, just doing your job every single week. Now Belichick's got to spend half his press conference getting questions about Antonio Brown.
I've already addressed it.
That must be making him so furious right now. He must be so angry. But I imagine Belichick's like the double down type. Like,
sure,
he will never. Bill Belichick has probably never admitted he was wrong in his life. And
like Robert Kraft.
To be honest with you, and in football, he hasn't really been wrong. So you got to give him the benefit of the doubt. But I don't. Well, it's a bit weird how Patriots are like always talk about this amazing Patriot way. Yeah, like it's this.
Josh Gordon's going to sit him down and go, dude, all I did was get high. You fucked up. And, Robert Kraft probably sits down and goes, okay, I've been here before. All right, let me work you through. I got the team. I got the team in place.
I don't know.
Whatever it is, he's a distraction. It's a negative distraction. It's taking away from an amazing season. And we'll move on from this because
let's get off this
he's not worth the time.
It's already got
We're not going to keep it on. And so, if you got him in fantasy, screw you. All right, let's go through.
I do have him in fantasy.
Yeah, well...
And you know what? It's the first time where I've never minded a player of mine getting suspended.
No, I don't mind
either.
either.
You know what? My player deserves this.
Yeah, he does.
Sit him out.
Sit him out.
Maybe I'll do it as a statement, like, hey, Antonio, the NFL didn't suspend you, but I did.
That's right. All right, so we're going to go through some of the games here. Ryan and I'll bring up each game. We should be able to tap on this one. Here we go. So we'll bring up first. Rams versus Panthers. The way we looked at this one, this was one of the early games. Rams were 6-point favorites. And let's take a look at this. I mean, this was a team that LA came out. You know, they won 30 to 27. Christian McCaffrey finally put some points up.
Oh, dude, Christian McCaffrey is awesome. But the interesting stories about this, there's a couple one. Number one, it was Jared Goff. Like, threw for like 200 yards or something, 220 yards. And for a guy who just got like 110 million, you expected that. And now is it a little bit of the Super Bowl hangover? Because Todd Gurley, who's also on my fantasy team, he's not getting the red zone touches, which is very upsetting, because that would have been a great. I would have won my game if he would have got those red zone touches. But anyway,
Malcolm Brown
is the new Mike Tolbert of fantasy football.
He is.
The
He's
vulture.
I mean, what a great performance. You know, I think the Rams struggled in this one. Carolina struggled in this one. Cam Newton did not look that good.
Another one of my fantasy players.
What kind of hat was he wearing that day? But he didn't look that good in this contest.
No, he just looks still. But Christian McCaffrey is the one guy you got to just feel like this dude can do everything. Like, he is a monster.
He is a sled dog pulling.
He's going to be the number one fantasy player of the year. Like,
well, he should be. He's jacked up the work.
He's going to be the first guy to do 1,000, I think, because he's just so dynamic. It's awesome to watch. Like,
the one thing I worry with a guy like that, he puts so much pressure on himself, and he pushes himself so hard, he's going to get hurt.
Yeah,
and those kind of injuries, you know, it's just you can't maintain that level of awesomeness all the time in a league full of big guys.
Of course you can, but that's right. But he did get jacked in the summer. So
he did.
It's just like
he's still gonna. But look at DK Metcalf. He can be big. It doesn't mean you can play football, and he got hurt a lot.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
he's trying to defy science.
This was a very tough game for both of them. But Goff, I mean, Zerline again hits all the stats.
Greg the
Leg, Zerline hits it. When you look at the eventual stats, Goff went 23 for 39, 186 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. QB rating of 69.
That is not 100 million guaranteed worth.
Christian McCaffrey, 19 carries, 128 yards, 6.7 yards average.
He's a beast.
And Robert Woods had a good game as well. So and DJ Moore showed up a bit. So
but he fumbled.
He did fumble. So the Rams, it was not a bad game, but you know, I think it was one of those games that they're rough. They're working it out. We'll see what happens.
It's the 5th preseason game, week 1.
Yeah. Let's go into Tennessee Cleveland, which Sky put on, and thanks for that crap.
Well, it was an interesting game for a while.
It wasn't compared to the other 6 p.m. games.
The 4th quarter, but there were a lot of disastrous games. I think like a lot of the best games were basically at the 9 o'clock games and Monday night. But this was just the one that you just felt sorry. You know what? This is a lesson to be learned, I think, right?
Yeah.
Because when you're a team that's consistently loses, like Cleveland has, right? And then all of a sudden you get like an Odell Beckham, Baker Mayfield had this year. You got Myles Garrett. You got all these weapons. You're going to have Kareem Hunt coming in. And you just get a bit cocky. You just get a bit like, we ain't going to be your Cleveland Browns. We're going to be... And then you just get punched in the face.
By Tennessee. Tennessee played.
First of all,
Tennessee played an amazing game.
Tennessee played great. Like,
Marcus Mariota was great. Delaney Walker, if you had him in fantasy, man, he was lighting up. Derrick Henry had a great game as well. The defense was playing really well.
That's what I'm saying. Mike Vrabel could be the one Belichick disciple who actually does something.
Yeah.
Most of them... like Matt Patricia, are just absolute falling apart disasters, and most of them have failed. But even though Mike Vrabel has never coached under Bill Belichick, he played for him forever. But he's really got that team going. This is a team that is 9-7, and I think Mariota, a guy who's now looking at a contract year, like he's going to want that big money. He needs to play ball, and him and Jameis Winston are in that same entire spot. We'll get to Jameis Winston later, but. Marcus Mariota played great. 3 touchdowns, moved the ball, him and Delaney Walker. Derrick Henry looked good. And you know what? Good on Tennessee. Because it's going to be harder for Houston. Houston looked really good.
Yeah, they did.
So them in Tennessee, having Tennessee with Mariota playing well, it's just better for football.
It was a great game. I think the Browns fans, you could see it on their faces. You could see it on the score, losing by 30 points. They couldn't get the running game going. Baker Mayfield could not connect. The Tennessee defense was disrupting against them the whole time. They frustrated them, and you could see it. And it was great for the Tennessee to come in as a visitor to come in and throw down that kind of score.
Yeah, there's also a couple hilarious stories. One is Odell Beckham wearing a watch.
Yes, they told now he cannot wear a watch anymore.
Yeah, but he said he didn't do it anyway. First of all,
what are you doing with a
watch.
For?
No, the thing is, there is no way, right? Like this is, you know, when like people like talk about Trump and how he's like his friends just go to Trump Tower or the vice president stays at Trump Tower. That's exactly what this is. With Odell, is he's obviously getting paid to promote this watch to play. They're just like sitting there. What if you played with it in the game? He's like, all right, I'm gonna play with it. And he's talking like it's like you're cramping my style.
Why?
He's getting paid massive amounts because that watch is helmet proof.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. There's a clock on the field. All right, you look up. What time is it?
Because Odell,
just look up. Man, it's right there.
I'll tell you 100% why. Because Odell was expecting to get a touchdown. And then could have looked at his watch and then done a little dance.
Or a little video.
Bam!
Yeah.
$10 million.
That contravenes rules.
That's
and he's been banned and he should get fined for it. And guess what? You didn't score a touchdown.
See, when your star player is more concerned about a watch than winning the game, to me that's a problem. And that is a Freddie Kitchens problem. A guy who never really had any experience. Yeah. And you're getting all these egos of... You know, Baker Mayfield, Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham. And then you got Freddie Kitchens. And you need a guy like Bill Belichick to put these guys in line and say no. Like, and especially 18 penalties by the Browns. Like, it stinks of bad coaching.
It was bad coaching. They were not.
I could see him being one and done if
they were arrogant going into this game, and Tennessee humbled them. Here's the game that I really wanted to watch on Sky. It wasn't, but we did watch it. It was a good game until. Obviously, Big Nick is hurt. Kansas City Chiefs beat Jacksonville.
But they had Gardner, what's his name? Gardner Hitchin or
Minshew.
Whatever it is.
But he did all right.
He did all right, actually. You look at his stats.
He looked okay. He had a pretty good game.
It was ridiculous.
But Nick Foles, obviously, now what a way to start the season.
Well, this game had a couple things. Jaguars D, they lost Miles Jack early, and that hurt them. Yeah. Because, he got himself kicked out. But they did not look like the dominant
They did not. And Tyreek Hill being knocked out.
But then again, to be fair, you're going up against one of the best offenses in the NFL.
Yes.
And, Patrick Mahomes was incredible. He had 300 yards in the first half. Yeah. Which is insane. The only thing I'll say about Patrick Mahomes is, all right, it was cute when he did the no-look pass. But he had Travis Kelce wide open in the end zone and looked it into the crowd pretty much. So it's like, okay, I get it. It was badass when you did it. Yeah. But we don't need to see that. That's just a rerun.
I think the momentum
was... You know why? Because he never did it with a touchdown.
Yeah. The momentum was building with Jacksonville with Nick Foles, and I think that as soon as he got knocked out of there, it really took the wind out of their sails.
Again, this is not a team.
But Jacksonville was playing tight. They got scored on, but they were still coming back at them, and I think that they were frustrating the Chiefs.
It's going to be a tough year. Again, It'll
be a tough year, and losing...
I thought they'd be a lot better.
Losing Foles is going to be a detriment, huge for them.
Yeah, because he won't be back till week 11, so they're pretty much...
You're pretty screwed. And even if he comes back in week 11, it's going to be. So quarterback situation...
But that's Gardner Mitchum carries it with his Uncle Rico mustache.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a few quarterbacks.
10 straight wins.
Hey, anyone need a quarterback?
Here comes the Kyler Kaepernick train.
Yeah, it should.
Into the station.
Let's talk blowouts. The Baltimore Ravens. Look, we knew Miami was bad, and I never thought it'd be a blowout this bad, but the Baltimore Ravens. Turns out Lamar Jackson can throw. Hey, who knew? What a beating this was. What a beating.
This is upsetting. To watch, like if you gotta be a Dolphins fan, this has gotta be like Browns territory a couple years ago and Detroit.
It's like having a hurricane.
Like, it's over. It is over. Like, this is like being a baseball team who's like 12 games out of it in April.
Or Toronto 38 games out of it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you're right. You're done, when you're like 38 games out.
And it's in June.
And you're like, why? Do you want to go to the baseball game? What? And drop 120 on a team that has no chance of winning?
No, exactly.
Yeah, it's upsetting. We don't give it all up. Lamar Jackson has done what I thought was impossible, and he has made the Baltimore offense exciting. So I am all in for it because I have been a Baltimore. I've been a Baltimore hater for a long time. Yeah. The reason I've been is because of how boring they've been on offense. Yeah. Because of Flacco, who did the exact same. When we get to that, the exact same thing against the Raiders. He just made them the most boring offense. Yeah. So it was a Flacco problem, not a Baltimore problem. So I admit my mistakes. And Lamar Jackson's fun to watch. Like, what's wrong with a guy like that?
He's moving all over the place.
And he did it without running, which is what...
He didn't run at all. I mean, Mark Ingram didn't utilize his full potential, but he spread it around.
You played the Dolphins.
Dolphins.
We'll see next week.
We'll see I don't know who they're playing,
but
the Patriots.
When they have the Patriots week 8.
Oh, okay.
Which actually be a good
The
time.
Miami plays Patriots next week. But Baltimore thrived 59-10. What a crap kicking.
Yeah, there's nothing much to say. You're getting another one.
So let's move into another game. We thought it'd be tighter, but holy Minnesota defense. Falcons lose to the Minnesota Vikings 28-12. And there wasn't really a chance in this one. Minnesota was all over them.
No, this is so disappointing.
This was, and I mean, we have our friend Chapman who's watching as a Falcons fan, and you just watch. It was ugly. It was an ugly game. Minnesota looking great in this game.
He I'm sure he was not happy. I wasn't happy. Like, I thought Atlanta would be much more.
I thought they'd be way better. Like they'd be.
Threw it 10 times.
Yeah,
like that's insane.
It wasn't that Minnesota was devastatingly good on offense. Their defense was great, but nobody was doing anything.
But Matt Ryan, even though Matt Ryan, he finished with like 300 yards, but he was terrible.
Yeah.
Till like late in the game in garbage time, he was like Blake Bortles today. Just stunk the game up at the beginning, and then gets the garbage yard that people look at his stats and be like, "Hey, Matt Ryan,
well, he didn't do so bad." It's like no, he's playing
actually. Maybe it wasn't his fault. It's like no, that was.
Well, they were playing a dime defense, and you're just chucking it down the field.
It was just shocking that only Kirk Cousins threw 10 times. So Dalvin Cook looked awesome. Minnesota's going to look like a big competitor now.
And Minnesota faces the Packers next week, which is a Sky game.
But the Falcons, the lucky thing is that Carolina looked terrible.
Yeah.
And even the Saints almost got beaten without their last second in a row. So that division is still very competitive and very wide open.
Speaking of competitive division, let's set the game that I was watching with Ryan, and Ryan said, "Hey, it's over. This game is over." He gave in to the New York Jets.
No, I never.
You did say that.
Never said that.
You did that.
I would never.
You did say it's over. I don't even bother watching. And then the Bills came back.
I did probably say that.
You did say that, but you say that a lot during the games. Anyway, what a great game.
Well, I have every reason.
Buffalo Bills come back 17-16 over the Jets. The Jets looked commanding in the start of this game, and then the Bills just took over. How do you explain this, Ryan?
The best thing I heard is it was any team that was -4 in the turnover department, and their records are 8-308 and 1. So the fact that the Bills are -4 in the first half and they were down 6-0 at half, I knew. I was like, okay, listen, that's ridiculous. The fact that you're only down 6-0. I was like, this game is not over by any means. But then they gave up the touchdown and went down 16-0. It didn't look good. But this is the one thing I'll say. It was Josh Allen and Devin Singletary, who looked great.
John Brown looked great too.
John Brown looked great. But the one interesting thing about Josh Allen was he was able to make that fourth quarter comeback, and that's what you kind of want in your quarterback. Is you want to be able to like Sam Darnold had 3 minutes left to get down the field to get a field goal, which they probably would have missed because their kicker was terrible. But like I have said, the Adam Gase offense, the almost overrated coach in the NFL, and everyone's they got confident too. They had the Cleveland Browns, Bills. No one picked the Bills. I was like, the Bills could easily beat this. But Josh Allen coming back did something Sam Darnold couldn't do, and all the people who said Sam Darnold's the truth and Josh Allen's trash, Josh Allen actually played well. Like his pick 6 was off Cole Beasley's hands. His other one was deflected. The fumble on the snap was the center's fault. But again, he had 4 turnovers, so Josh Allen's trash. But he was more accurate, 65%. Everyone just said Josh Allen can't be accurate. Dude played well, but we're not talking like this is anything anyone's going to be scared of. But I think the Jets were super disappointed, and I think the thing that hurt them the most was when C.J. Mosley went out, because that's when it was over.
That really changed it when Mosley went out.
Devin Singletary just ran through them right after that.
Amazing game, and it's going to be interesting to see, but it's a great win for the Buffalo Bills to pick up within the division. Let's move on to the next one. This was a closer game than anyone thought. Washington Redskins played it tight, 27 points for them. Eagles win at 32-27. This was supposed to be a bigger game than it was, but the looking at the first half, it was all controlled by the Washington Redskins.
The worst part about this game is it cost me my Ladbrokes ticket. It was very upsetting. I had this garbage touchdown that literally cost me my ticket. But yeah, because the Washington went up 17-0, and people were just like, "What the hell is going on?" Like Philly, everyone was talking about Philly as the Super Bowl team, and then you're like, "Oh man, is Carson Wentz going to be like one of those quarterbacks who just had that injury to his knee, has never recovered?" But he came back hard and he played well. Deshaun Jackson was awesome. 2 touchdowns. It's good to see him back in Philly.
I picked him up a lot of my fantasy. I didn't play him.
It suits him more. He's a great Philly player.
Yeah.
They look better, but there's a lot of question marks. I'm not as now convinced, especially the way Dallas looked, that the Eagles are going to win the division. That's why I want to redo our pick show. And
okay. Each week we'll redo it.
Each week.
That takes away from the fun of starting a season with picks.
We'll do 17 weekly, yearly
Well,
picks.
I chose the Patriots to win it all, so I don't know how that works.
I'd like to re-pick my...
Yeah, I'm sure you would. Yeah, I'm just going to plug this back in for a second. Yeah. All right. So it was, look, it was a great game in terms of the way Washington came out to play. I think
they were actually way more competitive.
They were way more competitive than I thought, and they lost, and it just came down to...
Case Keenum was balling it.
He was. Okay. It came down. All right, so let's move to the next one. Colts, Chargers. Jacoby Brissett, man, he looked all right in this one.
He played well. He did that great drive at the end. It was awesome. Chargers, the one thing it was Austin Eckler.
Yeah.
He was a beast there. And now Melvin Gordon's got to be sitting there watching this being like, oh, man.
And I picked up Eckler in most of my pools.
Yeah, it's just like I totally fucked this one up. Because now they're proving, we don't need Melvin Gordon.
Yeah.
Melvin Gordon's going to come back because he's going to be like, please.
Sure, put me in. But he's the glass man.
They're proving that they don't need him. I thought it was a big win. I thought... they just, again, it was overtime, so the Colts didn't get the ball, they didn't get a chance. But they did great to come back. T.Y. Hilton was awesome. Yeah. So any of the fantasy worries about him and without luck were eased, I think. He had 2 touchdowns. And Marlon Mack was awesome.
Marlon Mack was great. And
I think the Colts are going to be competitive every single week. I think they're going to suffer a lot of heartbreaking losses because...
They can keep it tight.
Because obviously Andrew Luck is going to put up better numbers. But Jacoby Brissett held his own, and the Colts should be happy, and they're competitive. Yeah. And this season is not a loss at all. There's lots of games to play.
The Chargers started a bit slow, but they came to themselves. Rivers obviously glued them together. But it was an interesting game. It was right down to the end and always a fun one to watch. Another one that was closer than everyone thought, Cincinnati. How about keeping it in the game? Cincinnati loses by 1 point to Seattle Seahawks. We all thought Seattle might blow them out. But Seattle basically had a rally in this game.
No, yeah, it was Cincinnati. Give it up for Andy Dalton. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, he's Ginger Ninja.
Everyone shits on Andy Dalton because everyone sees him as just so average. But dude is balled out. He always plays well. He had his highest yards ever in his first 400-yard game. He was just awesome.
I would rather have him than Mitchell Trubisky.
Especially in that pouring rain. Yeah. I think he's a guy who's been in an unfortunate situation. He had Marvin Lewis as his coach. He's had A.J. Green. He's had weapons. He's gone to the playoffs so many times, which is more than that can be said for a lot of quarterbacks that are praised to be so much better than Andy Dalton. This is just a guy who just comes out and plays every week. And even without A.J. Green, still threw it for 400 yards.
He knocks it, man.
Joe Mixon got injured, and that sucks. So I think the Bengals... they're going to be one that they're not going to be the easy 2-game win for Baltimore and Pittsburgh.
No.
You know what?
They're going to split it. They're there to screw stuff up. It's like that crazy ex that you sort of get back together with after one night. She's like, I'm going to key your car. You're like, I guess it's on then. And that's what it is.
Yeah, the Bengals are going to be good.
Bengals, they're playing plucky.
Feisty.
There's a few teams with nothing to lose, and I think they're one of them. And it'll be interesting once A.J. Green is back.
But Seattle, Seattle look
Seattle. They started putting together in the second half. Look, let's be honest. They looked rusty to start with.
I love Russell Wilson. So
I
want
too.
Russell Wilson to always be in the playoffs. He's fun to watch. And DK Metcalf looked good. And Chris Carson looked good. So.
Carson looked good, and it's one of those teams. I think Seattle, I also had them when we did our picks before the season. I didn't say Seattle would go quite far. I think they will. They're one of those teams that picks up as the playoffs build up momentum. Let's go to the first tie of Week 1. Hey,
I wonder
Detroit
if it's
Arizona.
not the first tie, because I think Cleveland and Pittsburgh.
No, I know. I'm just talking of this year.
No.
Yeah, last year there was a tie last year.
Which is crazy. 2 years in a row. There's been
2 years in a tie. And this tie didn't look like it was going anywhere. But wow, Kyler Murray looked like anemic in the first half. Second half, he was a beast.
Yeah,
He was coming out, running and throwing it.
Kyler Murray was like sitting there being like, all right, how can I get kicked off this team so I can go play baseball?
Yeah, exactly.
But you know what? It was really cool to see. I think Detroit blew this. Like,
They did.
This is like Matt Patricia, another Belichick disciple. And it's like, Matt Patricia just never feels like he had the confidence of anyone. Like, no one's like, oh, Matt Patricia's going to take us to the promised land. I think everyone's already kind of turned on him. And again, you got Matt Stafford. What do you do with Matt Stafford? You don't give him that many weapons. No. Like, he did a great game.
Matt Stafford's a good quarterback.
Yeah,
he throws the ball. He still hustles.
TJ Hawkinson looked really
good.
He was
really good,
for him. But again, it was just, they were up like 24-6.
Yeah.
And then they blew it. But give it up for Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
He came back. He's going to be a weapon. He's going to be fun
I think,
to watch.
people will not be able to write them off. I think when you're actually looking at betting odds going forward, for a lot of betting odds, don't write off them in the second half. There's a lot of teams that we've shown have got really second half comeback. Kyler Murray.
Well, I guess we'll see when they play a truly good team. You know.
Detroit's
average.
Yeah.
They're not going to be scared anymore.
When you face Tom Brady,
that's what I mean. Like if Arizona goes up against New England.
Well, let's talk about a team. Let's talk about a good team. It's a team. Here's a team. Here's a guy. Here's the guy with the guy and all the guys. New York Giants, Dallas Cowboys. Giants kept it kind of close-ish for a bit, but then the Dallas was just... Dak Prescott looked great.
Dak Prescott looked awesome. You know what? I've always been like a Dak...
Dak hater?
No, not like... Well, yeah, probably.
A Dak hater?
You know, the reason I'm a Dak hater is because of Skip Bayless. Because I watch...
A lot of people hate Skip Bayless.
And because of his complete non-objectivity of his team. He always thinks his team's going to the Super Bowl every single year. But... I will say, Dak Prescott has been really impressive, and I'm going to stop hating him because, to be honest with you, I always hated Dallas, but this is the least hateable Dallas team I think I've ever watched because I like Amari Cooper. You know, I have Ezekiel in fantasy. Had him last year in fantasy. He's a beast.
Yeah. Could it be that Antonio Brown has distracted everyone from hate?
I think he's a shitty person, probably, but I think he's fun to watch and he's a good player. But I just really like that. Defense is great with Van Der Esch. You know, DeMarcus Lawrence. I think Giants were just out of there. They're just not that good this year, and you just have to accept it. They're rebuilding. Eli's should get a couple more games. It really wasn't his fault. He wasn't terrible. The Giants' defense didn't stop anything. So you're not going to do anything about that. But it's just like, how long is this going to go for Daniel Jones? I think everyone in New York has accepted this is going to be a crappy year. Let's get Daniel Jones in and let's start building towards the future.
Let's not rush Eli to retirement yet. You still want to play.
I think if you took a poll in New York, bench Eli or put in Daniel Jones, more people would want to see Daniel Jones.
I think also on that poll would go fuck yourself because that is New York.
Eli, baby.
Why don't you go fuck yourself, man? Let's go on to the next game. Hey, these 49ers, whoa. They humbled the Buccaneers. 31-17.
Well, to be fair,
it was
only 31-17 because Jameis Winston gave them 14 points.
Pretty much,
which is literally what they lost.
He was not. Apparently, the quarterback whisperer should have shouted in his face.
Yeah, I know, right? That's good thing that book came out before. It's like the next chapter. It's like, we want you to rewrite it with Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston.
You know what? No, I'm going to pass.
You ever talk to a stone?
Because he was terrible.
He did not look good. He had a lot of tools.
Neither did Jimmy G, though.
Jimmy G did not look good either.
Jimmy G was...
It was defense that actually stood up with these games.
It was an ugly game. It was like 2 George Kittle touchdowns got called back.
Yeah,
it was
which is great. I've got him in a lot of fantasy.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. It was just... This is one of those games that was ugly. Ronald Jones looked good for Tampa Bay, but... Again, these are 2 teams I just aspire no confidence. I don't think they're going to be. I think they're going to be anywhere. They're going to be like a 7-9.
Less than 500 teams.
7-9.
They're looking like less than 500 teams.
They're like Jeff Fisher.
And then we move to the late Sunday night game. Pardon me. And this is
don't even call it that game. That wasn't a game. That was a scrimmage of a team that has been prepared versus a team that is constantly unprepared when they play.
Big Ben's face looked like to swell up throughout the game. Tom Brady looks younger. I don't know what kind of placenta he's soaking in.
It was so embarrassing for Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, every year, just someone said that, I don't know what it was. I was listening to a podcast, and someone said, this has got to stop being told it's a rivalry. It's not a rivalry.
No, it's not.
This is a one-sided beatdown every single time.
Tom Brady's owned them since he's been around.
Yeah, exactly. And Tom Brady, I think it's he's 6-0, 21 touchdowns, 0 interceptions at home against Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
It's just this is not.
This
even
was.
Pittsburgh
He
should be
spread that
embarrassed.
ball around everywhere. He had so much time. He got the ball around. The New England defense swarmed the heck out of him.
Oh my God, they did.
He
That's
did-
why everyone. It was really upsetting because this game is so upsetting because everyone who watched it was like, "Well, this season's over."
Yeah,
Right?
You just saw it. You saw it in the way
I
they
bet
played.
you 90% of people who were watching that game thought to themselves, "Well, this season's fucked."
Yeah, how are we going to beat these guys?
I guess I'll care about my fantasy.
And you know what?
more.
33-3, they kind of took the foot off the
Shame
gas.
on you, Pittsburgh.
They could have. I think, if New England wanted to, could have put up another 20
It
if
was
they wanted
terrible.
to.
It was.
It
terrible.
was, and then they play the Dolphins next week.
It's inexcusable, but
And that's why I took Tom Brady in pretty much every one of my fantasy pools because I didn't want to take and risk
I
it.
benched him for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, well, let's see how that works
It
out.
was a
Let's talk
terrible,
about
terrible
possibly the
season.
best game of the week. Houston Texans, New Orleans Saints. What a finish.
No,
oh, my
possibly,
God.
absolutely
What an
the best
amazing game. Best game, week 1. Houston looking great coming out of this game. Deshaun Watson, we were just saying, man, this kid can run, he can throw. There's no step. His knees.
Exactly. Deshaun Watson was unbelievable to watch. He's so much fun. But the thing is, he still got beaten down at the end. He got sacked 6 times. And it's like, you traded 2 first-round picks
And
for
still
a
can't
left
protect
tackle,
him.
and you still can't protect him. And it's like, is this a coaching problem? Because something's going on. Because you did this big trade. I think Houston, DeAndre Hopkins is awesome to watch.
Yeah.
Duke Johnson was a really good trade, so you got to give Bill O'Brien some credit to get Duke Johnson because he played great.
Yeah.
Carlos Hyde looked good.
He did.
So I think Houston's one of those teams. It's like, this is going to be actually an interesting team to watch, a fun team to watch, but dude, you got to protect. You can't let Deshaun Watson take those hits. When he dove into the end zone, he landed on his
my
back.
God. You just wonder,
Everyone
he's
was
going
like-
to It's like watching a kid dive into a shallow pool.
Drew Brees still got it.
Breeze
and that's
comes
a great
back.
story,
Alvin
too.
Kamara looked great, but Breeze in that last drive.
And then if
when it
Will
takes a
Lutz,
QB to put together. 58 yards. When you're like going, who's going to make it 58? As a Bears fan, I'm like, you can't even make 28. What are you doing? But he made it from 58.
Double dunk. Yeah, good on Will Lutz. He was great. So, again, that was the best game of the year. And on a Monday Night Football, I think it's great. Because Monday Night Football has taken a lot of shit over the last couple of years of being of the worst, having the worst commentators and the worst games, and everything about it's been shit. So,
well, it's also bad for us living in England because that game was on at midnight, which finished at 3 a.m., and the next game was on at 3 a.m., finished around 6 a.m., which is fine, but when you're coming down from methadone, very difficult.
Yeah.
The next game, Denver Broncos, Oakland Raiders. People thought, Denver was favored in this game, but Oakland came out, they won this game 24-16. Josh Jacobs played really well.
Josh Jacobs
Great
was
game.
awesome. The most upsetting thing about this is I think everyone who's a Denver fan's like, oh, so this is Joe Flacco?
Yeah.
This is what we got to watch? Because Joe Flacco was terrible.
Yeah, he did not look good in this game at all.
And good on Oakland. You know what? For after all the shit they took, and John Gruden getting shit on about you got taken by Antonio Brown, you look like a fool, Mike Mayock. To come out and beat Denver in your own building is a great statement game, and I think Oakland Raider fans deserve credit for that. And Josh Jacobs was awesome. Derek Carr was super efficient.
Yeah, he was good.
But Denver didn't even. I think it was didn't get a sack, didn't even get a quarterback hit. So the Raiders' offensive line looked great.
Whatever you talk about the Denver defense,
I think Denver. I don't think Denver's one of those teams that people are like, all right, well, that's.
Well, I think Oakland has got to get rid of Antonio Brown every week for motivation because that really seemed to inspire.
They're gonna sign him this week.
Sign him, get rid of him. We're back, and then you're gone. And so, all right, that's it for the recaps of this. We're going to do one quick preview. We'll look at the first game, week 2, the Thursday game. The Buccaneers visiting the Carolina Panthers. The line on this was 7.5. It's dropped to 6.5, over under 49.5. Buccaneers and Jameis Winston not looking good. Christian McCaffrey looking good.
It's a tough game because
it's a very tough game
because you can see every divisional game is always tougher. But I think. And Cam Newton just did not look the same. Jameis Winston didn't look the same.
Yeah.
It's just this is basically 2 offenses you have no confidence in.
Yeah.
Other than Christian McCaffrey. And I think the fact that it's in Carolina, Christian McCaffrey's been unstoppable, and I don't think Tampa Bay's really going to slow him down.
Yeah.
And I don't have any faith that Jameis Winston can beat Cam Newton on the road.
No.
That I feel like I have to go with Carolina to win this one.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go with it, but I just don't think they're going to score a lot of points. 24-13.
24-13 for Carolina. I think there'll be a bit of points in this one. It is at home in Carolina again. It is a Thursday night game, so the fans will be into it. I love Carolina, by the way. A great stadium. But I really see this as a showcase. They really want to show the fans, especially after last week, really come back and show them that those West Coast losers aren't going to take us. We're going to beat a team from Florida. Anyone can beat up on Florida. I have Carolina winning this one 27-17. And I think that they'll pour it on. They're gonna. I think Tampa Bay will score early and then late, but they're not consistent. They're not consistent at all.
Until I see Jameis Winston consistently not throw pick sixes and turn it over all the time. I just can't choose them on the road. No,
can't choose them.
What do I know? I went terrible.
We had horrible records last week. We both had horrible records week 1. But if you want to join us week 1, we will be at the Belushi's Hammersmith, right across from Belushi Station. 7 tube lines at least there. Place is open at 1 a.m. They've got stadium seating. They've got great deals on beer and food. Amazing chicken wings. We'll see you there on Sunday for the first game. It's going to be Minnesota Green Bay. Red Zone, they've got over 25 televisions blasting all of the NFL across for you. This is Wade and Ryan, our Week 1 pre-review. Review. Thanks a lot for listening, and have